I guess you can say I've got a bit of a hot take for you today. Um, yeah, I mean, you read the title, so you know what it is, but yeah, I don't think live service games are inherently a bad thing, like I see a lot of people say they are. Don't get me wrong, like with most things, there's gonna be problems there. Of course there are. But there are genuinely good live service games out there that are a lot of fun to play and just overall are good games, I think. Like, let's be real, as much as a lot of people clown on Fortnite, I think at the very least it does get the whole live service right. The game itself can honestly be a lot of fun at times, but especially when you're playing with other people or whatever. And I know I know they constantly update the game with new features and new characters, like all the time. I know that, which honestly straight up gives you a reason to keep playing the game, and that's kind of the whole point of live services, right? Since the whole point of a live service is to keep people coming back to the game and to keep people playing, and obviously companies want those games for to last for years, last for a long time, whatnot. Like Fortnite has, like Dead by Daylight, like Apex, and I think those games do get it right at least. I think people need to give them at least credit to at least give them credit for that because you know a lot of people don't. Again, don't get me wrong, I have my problems with those games, and there are definitely things that I would change about them, like adding more game modes to Dead by Daylight. But they have consistently given me a reason to keep going back to those games, to keep playing, whether it's new gameplay features or whether it's characters or maps. For example, again with Dead by Daylight, they've recently added the Xenomorph and Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise, which is huge, man. When it was announced that it was being added to Dead by Daylight, I was like, I was there like, holy shit, you get to play as a goddamn Xenomorph in Dead by Daylight. I could not have been more excited. I could not be more happy. And so I loved the first Alien film. I've always really wanted to play Xenomorph in Dead by Daylight. And I was super excited for that to come out. And this is exactly what I mean. These games keep people like myself invested in the game and wanting to go back to the game because of the live service part of it, because of what they're adding. And you can't just take away the fact that that's what they do. That's what the whole point of a live service is to keep people coming back, spending money, and keep people happy. Because at the end of the day, that's what the company benefits from it, and obviously the player base benefits from it. And that's all we really want at the end of the day. That's all we really want. We want companies to keep adding more stuff. They want people to keep playing the games. And at the end of the day, I think it could possibly be a win-win for everyone there, right? Like, let's be real. A lot of these live service games that are still around today, that are still doing very well, would have shut down years ago, a long time ago, if they weren't still supported the same way that they are, if new characters didn't get added all the time. They would have shut down a long time ago. They would not simply would not be around anymore. We all know that. We all can admit that, right? In all fairness, for every successful live service game there is, for every good game for every game that gets it right, there ends up being 1.5 million other live service games that fail or, well, are failing. Like you have Anthem, right? You have Avengers, you have Babylon's Fall, maybe even Halo Infinite, which I will die on this hill that the only reason that game still has some players is the fact that it's a Halo game and nothing else. And it has nothing else going for it. And I will die on that hill. You can argue all you want with me. I still honestly believe that game would have like next to no one playing it, less than 100 people playing it if it was not a Halo game. Yeah, again, I will die on that hill. I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that. Well, a lot of people will disagree with this video, but you know. But yeah, the problem those games have is that they are either missing features from previous titles in the series. I'm looking at you, Halo. Cut content that they are releasing at a later date as part of the live service, or a very obvious cash grab. Sorry, and yeah, that's like the big that honestly is the big problem with live service, right? And I think it was the Act Man. I think it was, yeah, the Act Man said it. Live serve. I think it's like something along the lines of live service games are the killer of creativity. Something along those lines, right? That probably isn't exactly that, but I think you get what I mean. And I think to a certain extent he is right, because since like there has been some obvious cash grabs out there, right? Like Avengers, like come on, like that was so obviously a cash grab. It has a couple of good moments, very cringy moments, but they're all like in the intro, in the first like what hour or two of the game. After that, it's a bit like couldn't care less about what happened in that game, and it's like it's a shame. It's an absolute shame because he could have done so much with that game as well. All the live service games that have well failed, he could have done so much with them, but they it was very obvious. It's like, yeah, the shit out game. Hopefully, it does well, you know. But I don't know. Like companies are starting to get a bit lazy with things like that sometimes, and I do 100% agree with people on those types of live service games. But yeah, and yeah, as I was saying, that's where that's where people have a problem with live service games, and to be honest, rightfully so, since there are so many games that have died, and like well, that have died. They just straight up died, and then they kind of deserve to die, to be honest, because of those reasons, because of that. And to be honest, I can't always justify it, but I still very much think that live service games aren't necessarily a bad thing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just complete talking out my ass. But yeah, there's not really much else for me to say, to be honest. That hasn't been said by a million other YouTubers. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Like, tell me in the comments why I'm wrong. And while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.